So I recently saw Black Adam, and I never would have guessed that this movie would make me think about watches. So DC's Black Adam stars The Rock, but it also features two actors that are very important to the watch community, Pierce Brosnan and Aldis Hodge. Pierce Brosnan's connection to the watch community is through his iconic role of James Bond. Now, Aldis Hodge, I'd seen him in a few films, but one of the ones that stands out in my mind is One Night in Miami, and then also the series City on a Hill. Pierce Brosnan, in my opinion, was one of the best Bonds, and he served as James Bond across 4 films: GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. Omega's ad campaign around Pierce Brosnan as Bond popularized and put on the map the Omega Seamaster Diver 300M. Ironically, that specific watch model was one of the first that I actually fell in love with when I was looking for watches. I started off looking for Rolex and came across Omega, and that specific model, the blue version, I just fell in love with it. I was pleasantly surprised when I started learning about horology to find Aldis on the Horological Society of New York's website, and also in a feature on Hodinkee. African American representation in the watch community is sort of rare, so to see Aldis get some shine, especially as someone who was in love with watches enough to design his own watch, was really awesome. So when you watch the movie, you can't see the watch in great detail, but when you first see it, it's in a scene when he's on his shuttle and he has this really amazing jacket that everyone can't pull off, and it matches up so well with his watch. But I did find a video on YouTube that was posted not that long ago by Journeyman Pictures, and they have an interview with Aldis where you get to see some pictures of the watch up close and personal. It's supposed to be a prototype, but it's still great to see the direction that the watch is going in, and to know that one day we may have the opportunity to try it in the metal on wrist. I'll make sure to put a link to that video in the description below. So one thing I thought about and wondered was if Pierce and Aldis had actually talked about watches and had conversations about their places in the watch community. I feel like there's no way that they could not have talked about watches, even if it was just from Aldis's side and his love of watches. He had to have asked Pierce about his experience being an Omega brand ambassador and what it meant for Pierce to impact the brand and that specific Seamaster model in the way that he did. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for one of their conversations around watches for sure.